What's up, yo? I got another What's Rad video for you. I think it's the third one for the channel, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a series where I just go and talk about the stories that I've read over this past week that I thought were good stories and give a little recommendation for you. And starting off the list, Savage Avengers 14. Jerry Duggan is the writer on this. I was kind of surprised in how well I like this story. Reading the title of Savage Avengers, I wasn't sure how well it's going to be, but this is the first issue that I picked up of Savage Avengers number 14. Here's that cover again. It was a fun read. It was a good read. I liked it. So our characters in here, we had Magic, Black Knight, Juggernaut, and Conan the Barbarian. Cool story. The preface before the story, letting you know what had been going on at this point. If you're a reader like me, this was the first story you picked up, was that Doctor Strange kind of created this team of the four people that I just mentioned and sent them out on missions of their own. So Magic and Conan split up and had to go do something, and then Juggernaut and Magic and Conan were split up to put on a mission to go find Juggernaut, to recruit them to do what they were supposed to do at the end of the story. And they then also had to go and recruit Black Knight. What they were supposed to do is fight this here dragon. It turns out the dragon is not exactly what it seems. It's holding one of the Eye of Agamotto's, which obviously is near and dear to Doctor Strange, so he kind of has them go and do his work for them to get this resolved. It's interesting to see Magic in the story, because right now she is a sword bearer and 10 of swords. So it's just interesting. When is this time? Before X of Swords? After? I mean, if it's after, then nothing happens to Magic during. So who knows? But Jerry Duggan is writing this, and he's also writing some 10 of Swords stuff. I want to say he's on Cable. So I feel like he would know the answer, so that's interesting. But I mean, the artwork is good throughout the whole story. It looks nice. Here's Magic Conan getting Juggernaut. It's a nice story, and then here's our introduction to Black Knight. He's hanging out with Klansmen, disguising them, and makes a joke, and he's like, oh, what if instead of terrorizing people and stuff, we got together and talked about our feelings and just talked about how each other were doing. And the guy next to him's like, is that you with Tucker? What's going on? What do you mean? And then he takes off his Klansman mask, and they see that he's Black Knight, and he just proceeds to beat all their asses. But eventually we get the whole squad together. All four of them get together and go to take on this dragon. And we get a really cool, basically fastball special that Magic and Juggernaut set up here. So Magic creates a portal for Juggernaut to run through, and that teleports him just into the atmosphere. And he falls from the sky for a long time, and everyone else is distracting this dragon, and Juggernaut is plummeting to the earth, and here he is, eventually just absolutely obliterates the dragon into a big explosion. And it turns out that our dragon is really just an Asgardian man, and they've kind of transformed him from a dragon back to a man, and he's now pissed off. And next issue, we continue with the fight. Next up on our list, I have two stories kind of in one department of truth. I have one and two here. I have one and two because I missed one when it first came out, and I got my hands on two, and then back ordered number one and kind of read them together. But this story is not what I thought it was going to be, but it is great. James Tynion is the writer on this. The artwork is really cryptic, and you don't really know what's going on, and it just keeps you're just edgy from the artwork. But the story, yeah, I mean, we have a man. We're introduced as the person that we're following throughout the story, as it seems. Right here, his name is Cole, and he's basically getting interviewed by these people, and it's like some black suit government officials, top notch, super secret guys interviewing him, and he's all scared. He thinks they're going to kill him. He's like, because he found out something that he knows that the government doesn't want people to know. So he thinks he's going to get killed after being interviewed by these people. And they're like, oh my God, dude, calm down. We're not going to kill you. Just tell us what you know. Like, Jesus Christ. And he's still freaking out. But then he goes in and tells the story that the government officials are like asking of him. And we find out that he does research on extremist groups of people, like infiltrates their bases on the internet and stuff like that, and just tries to research why they think the way that they do. And the story he's telling, he meets up at a flat earthers convention where there's a crap ton of them there, and he got invited to it, and so he decided to come every year. They hold one, and he goes, and he gets plucked out of the crowd by the overhead man that runs the whole annual convention of all these flat earthers. And he's plucked out for a reason, because our character Cole is he is I don't know if that he has a PhD, but he's a very smart man. He's well known in his community, and this bigwig wants to convert him onto his side, and he invites him into a small room, a gathering, to watch a video. In the video, and it's the moon landing. I mean, he recognizes it right away, but he recognizes that something's off. There's something not going right about the video. And he says it wasn't the right camera angle. They were looking at it from a different view, and in the background of the camera angle, you just see a man standing there, right? No astronaut suit, just chilling with a cup of coffee. And it basically is evidence that the moon landing was fake, and maybe the Earth is actually flat, and all kinds of stuff. And now Cole is like spiraling. He's like, what the hell have I got myself into? What's going on? And the bigwig invites him to a plane and says, come on, we're all going somewhere. And Cole is skeptical, but he's like, the bigwig ends up telling him, like, I know you want to go because you want to learn, you want to understand what is happening right now. So they all get on this plane and they fly out, and they're flying all the way out here, and they're like in the Antarctic, and everyone on the plane is all black suit and tie, old white men, except for this one woman in red who always wears sunglasses. And then she eventually takes the sunglasses off to him, and it's just X's for eyes, and it freaks him the hell out. But they land, and he keeps going. As soon as they land, they are met by another woman who is not too happy to see them, with a machine gun. And here at the bottom of the page, you see this pools of blood. She kills everybody except for Cole, takes them in. And we find out that this woman who kills everybody is the woman that brings Cole to the interview that we saw from the start. And they're just trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And we find out that the man interviewing Cole is Lee Harvey Oswald, the man who was arrested but then shot to death for the assassination of JFK. Now he runs this sector of the government, and they are called the Department of Truth. And that's the ending of the first book. And that hooked, I just thought that was great. And then the second book has a huge twist of Cole's personal life experience, some deep, dark secrets he has. He's dealt with that since a child. There's this spirit, this demon that's haunted him since he was a kid. And he's been seeing it a lot recently, and he doesn't know why. I mean, but it just scares the crap out of him. And now that he's a part of the Department of Truth, they end up going and talking to the people that he's going to be working with, and he gets to know his coworkers, stuff like that. and they end up getting on the topic of controlling the notion that teachers and daycares do satanic rituals on your children, which I guess was a widespread rumor that people actually were freaking out about. And I believe, I want to say, what is the 80s that were in this, I think. And, well, they get on the topic of that, and he ends up watching some interview tapes of a young girl that a news company had put on to try to stir up the rumor and get the ratings of these daycares and teachers of satanic rituals and whatnot. And the interview that this little girl gives is the exact same thing that he has been dealing with. This man with the pentagram face, he's always in their dreams, and he's eating a little kid, but he whispers to him, "It's okay, it's all right, this isn't real, you're safe, it's all fine." And then he eventually says, "You can't tell anybody because I'm here with the devil, and if not, we'll get you, we'll haunt you," stuff like that to scare the little kid. You find out the woman with the red dress with X's for eyes is the devil that Cole met in real life on the plane. And then Cole just absolutely freaks out, realizing that the demon he's been fighting his whole life is real. Other people experience it. Oh my God, what's going to happen now? And we're on to issue 3 here soon, and I'm excited for that. But the number one book that I was most, I loved the most from reading this week, Amazing Spider-Man number 52. This cover artwork is beautiful. This is amazing. This looks great. Story of Spider-Man. So we're obviously in the Last Remains arc. Peter's met up with Kindred. Kindred set up this macabre dinner with the bodies of several dead people that Peter has loved and cared for throughout his life, but died. And Peter blames himself and believes he's shortcoming of because of their death. And there's George Stacy, Jean DeWolf, Marla Jameson, Flash, Gwen Stacy, and even his Uncle Ben. And so, obviously, Peter gets pissed, fights Kindred, beats the shit out of him after he realizes what's going on, and it just splashes of beautiful artwork, the huge bugged eyes. The fight is great. And here we get Peter going for the kill shot of murdering Kindred. But as he punches him, he just goes straight through him. Nothing happens. Kindred basically like, "Yeah, I'm not even really alive. I'm this entity of like cockroaches and all these caterpillars, and like you can't actually punch me and kill me. So thanks for trying, but no, that's not going to work." And this whole time, Peter does not know that Kindred is supposedly Harry Osborn, but we as the readers do know that. But anyway, Kindred, after Peter punches through him, and Kindred's like, "Yeah, that's not going to work," Kindred continues to beat the crap out of him. And eventually they get beaten out of the building that the dinner was set up in, into the streets, and Peter sees that all of his friends are still being taken over by the demonic spirits from the Sin Eater, and kind of tearing stuff up, kind of going crazy on the town. And because of this, Peter starts freaking out. Look at Spider-Woman, Silk's there, Gwen, Miles, Arya, it's going crazy. All of his friends are freaking out, and Peter eventually caves in and is like, "No, your fight is with me. Why are you hurting them and the other people of the city? Take me, you want me, kill me, let them go free." And Kindred's like, "Yeah, actually, that sounds like a great idea." And so boom, he raises his hand right here, and everyone's healed, and Miles is fine. Gwen's no longer psychotic and going crazy. Everyone's cool, everyone's chill. And then Kindred says, "Well, you said for them to be healed, I must, you were giving up your life for it." And he's like, "Well, we gotta you have to stay true to your end of the deal, and then the story ends, and we're left with what is to come next week. But it was great, and I'm very excited to see where this Last Remains arc goes, and really where would you go from here? All these years, 2 years of build up for Nick Spencer and Kindred. But yeah, that was What's Rad this week. Hopefully tomorrow or Thursday I can get new comic book day video up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.